The old, battered Jeep bounced along the rutted track, its headlights carving a path through the dense, moonless night. Inside, Anya, Liam, Chloe, and Noah were a cacophony of nervous laughter and excited chatter. Their destination? Blackwood Forest, a place whispered about in hushed tones, known for its untouched beauty and local legends of vanishing hikers. They were seeking adventure, a break from the city's ceaseless hum, and perhaps a thrill. "Are you sure this is the right way, Liam?" Anya's voice, usually steady, held a slight tremor as the trees seemed to close in around them, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky. Liam, ever the confident leader, grinned. "Relax, Anya. My grandfather used to hunt here. He said it was the most peaceful place on Earth." Peaceful, Anya thought, was not the word she'd choose. An unsettling silence had fallen since they'd entered the forest's depths, broken only by the crunch of tires on gravel and the pounding of her own heart. They eventually found a clearing, a small circle of relative openness surrounded by ancient, towering oaks. Setting up camp was a familiar ritual, but tonight an undercurrent of unease permeated their usual camaraderie. Chloe kept glancing over her shoulder, Noah fumbled with the tent poles more than usual, and even Liam seemed to be listening for something beyond the rustle of leaves. As the campfire flickered to life, casting dancing shadows that mimicked monstrous shapes, Liam pulled out a faded map. "According to this, there's an old hunter's cabin about a mile east. We can explore it tomorrow." "Or," Chloe interjected, "we can stay put and not invite any ancient forest spirits into our humble abode." They all laughed, but the sound felt hollow in the vast darkness. Later, as they roasted marshmallows and shared ghost stories, a new sound pierced the night. A whisper. Faint, ethereal, it seemed to weave through the trees, a barely audible chorus of indecipherable words. "Did you guys hear that?" Noah asked, his eyes wide. Liam tried to dismiss it. Just the wind, probably, but even he looked unsettled. The whispers continued intermittently throughout the night, growing subtly louder, more distinct, yet still just beyond the grasp of understanding. Anya found herself pressing her hands over her ears, convinced she could hear her name being called, not by any of her friends, but by something else entirely. The next morning, the forest seemed to hold its breath. A thick, unnatural fog had descended, muffling sounds and reducing visibility to mere feet. The whispers were gone, replaced by an oppressive stillness. "We should pack up," Anya urged, a cold dread coiling in her stomach. "This doesn't feel right." Liam, however, was determined. "Come on, a little fog isn't going to scare us off. Let's find that cabin. My grandfather said it held some fascinating old relics." Against their better judgment, they agreed. The trek through the fog was disorienting. Trees loomed suddenly out of the mist, appearing and disappearing like spectral sentinels. The silence was so profound it buzzed in their ears, broken only by the squelch of their boots on damp earth. Then Chloe screamed. She was pointing at a tree, its ancient bark scarred and twisted. Imprinted on its trunk, as if burned into the wood, was a distorted, human-like face, its eyes hollow, its mouth open in a silent, agonizing scream. "What is that?" Noah stammered, his face ashen. Before anyone could answer, the whispers returned, this time louder, closer, swirling around them like a tangible entity. They were no longer indecipherable. Anya could make out fragments. Lost, trapped, never leave. Panic set in. They stumbled through the fog, trying to retrace their steps, but every direction seemed the same. The whispers became a cacophony, clawing at their sanity. They saw movement in the mist, fleeting shadows, distorted figures flitting between the trees, always just out of sight. Liam, usually so composed, was visibly shaken. "We need to get out of here." They ran, a desperate, breathless sprint, the whispers chasing them, mocking them. Suddenly, Anya tripped, falling hard. As she looked up, a gnarled hand, gray and brittle like dead wood, reached out from the fog, brushing her hair. She screamed, scrambling backwards. "Anya!" Liam shouted, pulling her to her feet. They burst into a small clearing, expecting to see their camp. Instead, they found an even older, more overgrown clearing. In the center stood a decaying wooden cabin, its windows dark, its door hanging ajar like a gaping maw. This was not the hunter's cabin Liam had spoken of. This was something far older, far more sinister. As they stared at the cabin, the whispers coalesced into a single guttural voice that seemed to emanate from the very earth beneath their feet. "Welcome, trespassers. You came seeking adventure. Now you will become part of the woods." The cabin door creaked open further, revealing a darkness that seemed to swallow the dim light of the foggy day. From within, more shadows stirred, stretching outwards like grasping tendrils. Chloe let out a sob. "No, please!" Liam, for the first time, looked utterly defeated. "We're trapped," he whispered, his voice cracking. The ancient oaks surrounding the clearing began to sway, not with wind, but with an unseen force. Their branches writhed, and from their gnarled trunks, more distorted faces began to emerge. Countless silent screams etched into the wood. The whispers intensified, now a maddening chorus of agony and malice. Anya closed her eyes, wishing it was a dream, but the cold skeletal hand that gripped her ankle was terrifyingly real. As she opened her eyes, she saw the faces in the trees were no longer static. Their eyes glowed with a malevolent green light, and their mouths moved, silently screaming her name. The last thing they heard before the darkness consumed them was the chilling, triumphant whisper of the woods, echoing with the promise of eternal despair. The forest, once merely beautiful, had claimed its new inhabitants and would forever guard their silent screams among its ancient whispering trees.